Hello everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. For literally years now, I've been considering a project which is likely to be both fun and torturous, and in this video, I'm going to set out the rules. This is an idea that many people have tried and many people have failed. A project which is likely to at some point bring me to my knees, and that is to keep a large coral munching angelfish in a reef tank. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not even remotely the first person to do this, but generally speaking, the people that do have success are the ones who have incredibly large tanks that you can literally scuba dive in, filled to the brim with corals. Tanks which are outside the reality for most of us. For this project, I'll be setting up a new tank, the Waterbox LX 270.6, which is a 6 foot long, 2.5 foot wide tank, a size much more common in the hobby, and realistically the smallest size and large adult angelfish should be kept in. Before we move on, the first thing I want to do is thank Waterbox Aquariums for sponsoring this project. To be completely transparent with you, a few weeks ago we were in contact with each other. They liked the idea of the angelfish project, and they have provided the tank. Having said this, those of you that have followed the channel for a while will know that this was the tank I wanted anyway, as I mentioned it multiple times over the last year. I will be showing off the tank and equipment in all its glory soon, however at the moment it's currently sitting on the floor in my kitchen, while I wait for the materials so that I can plumb it into the coral farm. We all know by now just how lazy the farm has made me when it comes to doing water changes, so I've decided to automate them on this tank too. Right, now let's get back to what this project is really about, the angelfish. I'm not talking about one that has a reputation for being partly reef safe. None of those puny regals, blueface or majestic angels, although I might consider one of these as a possible additional angelfish to my main one. I want one which is a little bit more ambiguous, one which is actually a challenge, and even Reef Dog can keep a regal angel. I've also kept a regal angel previously, which was a model citizen even with clams, and that's not what this is about. This is about making me suffer. For most people that attempt this, they will already have a thriving reef tank, and then usually, because of some serious lapse of judgment, they will decide to add an angelfish, only to realise just how big of a mistake it can be sometimes, watching helplessly as it systematically destroys one coral at a time while spending hours trying to catch it. With this project, it's quite the opposite. Unless I'm very unlucky to get one which eats literally everything, the angelfish will have the priority. With the coral farm, I'm in the unique position where I can introduce a coral to the angelfish, and if it takes a bite, I can put it back in the farm. I also have multiple frags of most species, so there's no risk of it totally destroying a whole colony, and because I grow most of the corals, it's not like I'm casually feeding it wild corals either. I will start with corals I consider low risk, and bit by bit add to the tank as I get more and more confident. Even if it doesn't touch a coral on day one, that doesn't mean it won't in time, therefore this is essentially the reefing equivalent of holding a live grenade, never knowing when it's about to go rogue and destroy everything. It isn't just the coral munching that makes this a challenge. Large angels are known for being temperamental and sometimes absolute bastards towards certain other species, including butterflies, and I can assure you I will be having at least one of those as well. The plan is to get a pretty big one, at least in adult coloration. However, as we all know, to some extent I'll have to take whatever is available at the time, especially if it's a rarer species. It would be nice for the angel to be the centerpiece rather than having loads of other fish which are bigger than it. This is the Angelfish Reef tank build after all. I will try my best to tolerate whatever happens for an extended period of time, because I genuinely want this to be a success. However, there is one caveat. We all know that a tank we don't love becomes an expensive chore, and if after months that happens, it's likely I'll swap it out for one of the more reef-safe cousins and build the best reef I've ever made instead. After all, I have access to so many more corals than ever before. This is where I need your ideas. At the moment, I'm leaning towards an annularis angelfish, as it's one I've always wanted to keep. But let me know in the comment section below what you'd pick. Other close contenders are a blue line, passer, or if I sell a lot more coral between now and then, king eye. In all honesty though, if given the option, a bandit angelfish is what I'd go for, but that isn't a realistic prospect for me. I also plan to have at least one dwarf angel, so feel free to comment below what one of these you'd have as well. I quite like the idea of a cherub angel for some reason, although I'm not really sure why. Right, that's it for today guys. If you like the idea of this build, there has never been a better time to subscribe. I hope you enjoy watching my videos. As always, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that supports the channel on Patreon. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.